Man, I don't know why it does that. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
But I
But I don't know how many people are gonna tune into the stream. But I just got home, just got done golfing. I watched the TCU loss this morning, and then I went to go play some golf. So I just got back, and I was like, I don't have anything to do tonight, so I thought I would do a stream, talk about college football today. I haven't even looked at any of these scores, so I don't know how a lot of these games turned out. I know Syracuse ended up covering, and I know TCU did not. So there's two right there. Dang it, I do this every week. I always delete this column right here. Whoops. It's because I don't have units there. It's all 0.2. But yeah, I know this is a loss, and I know this is a win. But apart from that, I don't know how many of these other games played out. I know New Mexico got canceled. So, that is that. I know Iowa lost, because I have a friend who went to Iowa, and he told me. Yeah, I don't know how a lot of these others turned out, though. I know Louisville won by a lot, because like I said, I used to live there, and I know people who live there. Iowa lost. So, let me go through the scores. There's an echo? Crap, I know why. I know why. Don't worry, I'll fix it.
There we go. There should be no more echo now. But why is the black screen of death happening here? Anyway, I'm going to look through the scores and see how some of these other games went. Alright. Do I have West Virginia or Texas Tech? No, I don't. Or wait, I do have West Virginia on the money line. Do I have... Alright, Tulsa. I think they won by a lot. They played last night. Yeah, that's how I knew. So Tulsa won by a lot, and UAB lost last night. So those happened last night. Boston College won. That's good. Puts me in... Gosh, why does that happen? Why does it go black? Man. Pittsburgh. Please tell me I don't have them. They got destroyed. Like, it's going... Drives me crazy that it goes black like that. Is it like something I'm doing... Is it like a... Alright, moving on down the list. Tennessee, they played Alabama. How did that turn out? They did not cover. NC State, they played North Carolina. They did not cover. Wake Forest. They covered. They won outright, so I got them on the money line too. Nice. Whoops. Coastal Carolina, number 25, by the way. They're ranked, surprisingly. They covered. Miami is currently playing. Tulane. I think they covered the 19.5. Tulane. Yeah, they did. Penn State. They played Indiana. Oh, Indiana won in overtime. Wow. Michigan State. I know they were losing to Rutgers when I saw that, so I don't think they covered. It would have taken a big comeback. Yeah, they didn't even win. They lost outright. Man, screw this black screen deal. Seriously, I don't know why it does that. Is it because my computer can't keep up or something? Is it like a RAM issue? Shouldn't be. I mean, I've done it before where it doesn't do that black screen thing. Oklahoma State, they won, but they did not cover. So that's a split. I know Auburn won because I saw the highlight there. Memphis. They won by 12, so they did not cover. I think LSU is playing right now. Yeah, they're playing right now. UL Monroe, they're playing right now. New Mexico, we already talked about. Florida Atlantic. They covered. Good. Hawaii, they're playing. I thought they were canceling their season. Hawaii. They're playing right now. Southern Miss. They did not cover. UNC Charlotte did not cover. Man. And Louisiana Tech. Where's Louisiana Tech? They're playing right now. All right, so any of these money lines resolve? I know West Virginia's tied. New Mexico isn't playing. Florida Atlantic, they lost. And Louisiana Tech is playing. So, not good. Down 0.32 right now. Anyway, I apologize for the black screen, but I'm going to have to figure that one out. It's like, I don't even have anything open right now. Like, I have every file closed. There's got to be, like, a reason for it. I have an idea. I'm going to try something. I want to try something. It's just an idea. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work either. Huh. Weird. Anyway. I probably should have worked that out before starting the stream, but it was fine before I started the stream. That's the thing, it was fine. But yeah, today was a interesting day, college football-wise. Michigan State, how about them, right? How about Michigan State? How about them? They lost to Rutgers outright. I just know that Michigan State fans are acting like they got a big coup when they got Mel Tucker from Colorado. They acted like they just stole Nick Saban away from Colorado. I know they were really excited about that hire. Reboot? I could try. I don't want to stop the stream, though. What if I take off capture cursor? What if that changes things? I'm gonna try it, you know, worth a shot. Alright. Whoops. Man. Trying to rearrange some things. Yeah, this is a boring live stream so far. I apologize. Like I said, I see these technical difficulties happening in real time, and it's just embarrassing. Alright, well, what if I don't capture cursor? Does that work? Maybe that's the reason, because it's trying to capture the cursor and it slows down. Yeah, so far so good. Awesome. Yeah, but anybody got anything to talk about college football-wise? So I'm going to turn on a game, so no, you're not turning off on me this time. But I'm going to turn on a game. I guess Michigan and Minnesota I can turn on. Yeah, I think capturing the cursor is why it does that. But I'm going to turn on a game. I don't think I get ABC in this apartment, though. Where's the remote? Yeah, that's the thing. I would never, ever, ever, ever in the past go play golf on a Saturday during college football. But like I said, these fanless games and these limited crowd, it just doesn't feel important. So it's like, after the TCU game and they lost pretty, in an embarrassing fashion, I decided to go play golf because I usually play on Friday after work, but it rained yesterday, so that's why I played today. But, it's like these fanless games just don't feel important at all. And it sucks, it's like there's no buildup is what I'm trying to say. Like the buildup is gone. And also I think part of the problem is I don't have my setup. Like, in my when I had my own apartment and everything, I would I had kind of like a setup. I had 3 TVs, you know, and I'd usually cook. If you watched my videos last year, I'd usually cook on Saturdays, and it'd be like an all-day affair that I'd look forward to all week. What do you mean no signal? Yeah, it's like, I don't think I get ABC. So what channel will have college football on it? None? Alright, so I guess I'll do a...
What is your close?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's an antenna. It's not a... Like, I have like a Google Chromecast thing that I can watch stuff on, but I don't want to do it while I'm streaming. That'll take up too much bandwidth. So I'll have to just follow along here. What's the score of the Minnesota game? 14-10, and Michigan's threatening. I don't think Minnesota's that good. I'm not a big PJ Fleck guy. I'm really not. I don't think he's the great coach everyone says he is. It looks like Texas Tech just scored to go up, so that's not good for my West Virginia bet. Yeah, like I said, this is a throwaway year, even for my betting. I just don't, I'm not surprised that my model's not doing well this year. It's too many intangibles it factored in to just ruin things. I'm going to go get some ice cream out of the freezer. Bluebell is the best ice cream, but you can only really buy it in the South. That's the thing, I have all this ice cream in the freezer here, but I'm moving out of this garage apartment next Sunday, so I'm like trying to eat it all before I get out, but I don't want to like eat too much, I don't want to get fat, but I didn't eat very much today, so I think I can eat this. This is a milk and cookies flavor. Vanilla ice cream with chocolate chip cookies in it. But yeah, I played golf today. I'm a member at like a 9-hole par 3 course. So twice a week I go and play 18. I had my best ever round this past Monday. And I was like, I'm going to build on that. But of course I sucked today. So I blame a friend who's a golf instructor. Because my main problem that I was still having even my best round is I hit the ground before I hit the ball when I'm teeing off with an iron. And that's all you're hitting on a par 3 is irons off the tee. And he gave me some pointers, and I was trying to apply those to my swing today. Didn't work. Yeah. I've never done this video at night before. I usually do it during the day, so I don't know how many, Saturday night might be a little bit difficult for a video like this, but like I said, I have nothing else to do. I already did my outside activities today, so I'm just taking it easy from here on out. I'm gonna stream a game on my cellular connection. Michigan and Minnesota. So Michigan scored. So it's 21-10. Like I said, it's a throwaway. Throwaway year. All the teams that lose a lot already, I get the throwaway year. All the teams that haven't lost that many games yet, they're still taking it seriously. But being a TCU fan, our offense is so bad. Like, it's been bad for the last 3 years. I don't know why we brought back our offensive coordinator after last year. Like, our defense plays well enough to keep us in games, but our offense is just so bad. This ice cream is good. But that's the thing with all these offenses is that in the Big 12, you know, we held Oklahoma today pretty much 30 points. And that should be good enough, right? You got to do better than that. We scored 14 points in our Big 12 games this year, and we've lost our last 5 home games. It's like we don't have guys who know how to win, and we don't have guys who are afraid to lose. Like, losing was not an option when I was there. I know we played the Mountain West. We played a lot easier of a schedule, but still. The teams I played on would have destroyed these TCU teams. So is anybody having a winning day today in college football betting? Anyone? I'm not. It's like ever since I went to a 0.4 unit sizes, I've done nothing but lose. And this is no different. Like I said, it's a throwaway year. I'm not. It's like I was not expecting to have a good college football betting year with all the shenanigans going on. That's for sure. Oh man, I know this isn't college football related, but Hunter Biden's sex tapes coming out. I'm just now finding out about this. Wow. I'm not gonna look at that right now. No. This ice cream is good. See, out the Big Ten starting today, you know, it's like little fanfare in my opinion. You think the Big Ten? I mean, I pay attention to college football a lot. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, if I didn't pay attention to it, how would anyone know that the Big Ten was starting today? Not a lot of fanfare. In college, ESPN's College Game Day is a joke. Like, they try to make it something, that's not just a College Game Day problem, that's an everything problem right now, is all this virtual stuff, like virtual fans and get out of here with this virtual garbage. It's never going to replace the real thing. I wouldn't even bother. Like, all these idiots sending in their virtual signs for game day. It's like, I would never be caught dead doing that. You're winning in tennis? What's going on right now? Like, at my gym, they have tennis on all the time, and I know there's some tournament going on. Not a major, but there's definitely a tennis, yeah. I worked out this morning. It was 46 degrees. And I did an outdoor track workout. Alright. So Minnesota is driving. Are they driving? 2nd and 2. Handoff. In the pistol formation. Yeah, they're not driving, but, you know, got a first down out of it. Like, were Michigan fans even expecting anything this year? That's the thing with Michigan fans. Like, with all this COVID stuff, like, I don't know what anyone was really expecting. Like, does Michigan have expectations? I think that's kind of like what the problem is with college football right now in sports in general, is that so many teams are like, are they treating it like a throwaway year, or are they only going to say it's a throwaway year after they've lost enough games? Right? Like, I know as a TCU fan, we weren't expecting a throwaway year. And yet it's the same old crap that's been going on for the last 3 years. But Michigan, you know, is Jim Harbaugh, like, under any pressure to win this year? Is it just like a year where, regardless what happens, you know? I'm just ready for all this COVID stuff to be over with. Get back to normal. Like, there's nothing I enjoy more than college football Saturdays in a normal year. Like I said, I make it an all-day affair. I cook and I have a setup at home, and I just watch college football all day long. Start to finish, all the way through that last Pac-12 game. But, it just doesn't feel the same. It's not the same. Doesn't feel important. And the thing with these Big Ten games is they're not even allowed to have fans. Talk about really, at least there's fans at some of these other games, but I don't know what's worse. An empty stadium with no fans, or like the limited number of fans that they do have that just looks stupid. Like, I'm watching the World Series and they have like the fans all spread out and everything. It's like, why? Why even bother? Like, you know, I know a lot of people from DFW. I don't know anyone who even had any interest in going to the World Series, so I guess it would just be Dodgers fans in the area. And I guess if there's any Rays fans in the area, which I doubt. I know there's probably a lot of Dodgers fans. Or the California transplants that live in Plano. That's the thing with the ice cream, is that I can't, I want to eat more than I'm allowed to eat. Has my model ever given me a game where the percentage based on my model on the spread and money line are really close? And while I wait for the rest of that question, Minnesota's quarterback just got which one do I choose? Well, I play both. If there's an edge on both the spread and money line, I play both. If my model says I have an edge, yeah, you play both. Now, I don't always put the same unit sizes on spread money line, especially for big dogs. But yeah, I definitely will play both in that situation. Easily. Oh, man. Yep. That's the thing. If you have an edge, you bet it. I've never heard of XG Boost. It happens a lot. I mean, if you look at the plays I have up right here, I have multiple games where I played both the spread and money line. How often does it happen? Yeah, quite a lot. Especially in college basketball. Speaking of college basketball, when's that supposed to start? I mean, in a normal year, I'd be getting ready for college basketball. It'd be starting in a couple of weeks, but I don't think that's going to happen. Like, are they still having the preseason tournaments, like the Maui Invitational and the all of that? Preseason NIT, Charleston Classic, Advocare Invitational. Anyone have any idea when college basketball is supposed to start? Especially because if you, you know, history shows for my college basketball betting, I always do best in December and January. Those are the 2 months I really do well, and then it always falls off a cliff in mid-January. Last 2 years, I think it's delayed. Yeah, I've never heard of XG Boost. I've been doing a lot of work in R for my job the past. I've been so busy with work. So Blake C, November 25th. That's usually around, yeah, so I guess they're not going to have the Maui Invitational this year. But yeah, the last 2 years in college basketball, I've totally destroyed it. I've totally, like, made a lot of money in December. Touchdown Minnesota, by the way. I've never, not only have I never bet on UFC, I've never watched it. So I wouldn't know anything about it. That's the thing with fighting, though, is that any good model is going to need stats. And I mean, how many really... I mean, I know in boxing they have, like, percentage of punches landed and stuff. But really, I mean, I don't know how you'd model, like, boxing. And I guess the same concepts would apply to UFC. But I've never watched it before. That sucks, because, like, one of my favorite things about the week of Thanksgiving is all those preseason basketball tournaments. It sucks that they're not going to happen. But yeah, I've never bet UFC before. It's I just remember when I was playing football at TCU, I remember after one of our games, we went to get some pizza. And I was there with my family, and they had UFC on the TV there. And I just remember it was on. I wasn't really paying attention, but at one point, like, one of the fighters grabbed the other fighter by his ankles and, like, swung him like a sledgehammer against the side of the cage, and then swung his head, and it looked like he was gonna die. Like, he was bleeding so bad, and I was like, that's too barbaric for me. Yeah, it's a little too barbaric. Yeah, so I guess what you're saying, Brandon, is that pretty much UFC, it's more like something you watch to get a read on. And that's it for the ice cream. I'd love to eat more. I have more in the freezer, but nope. That's my ice cream for today. I'm actually doing a bulking diet and workout program right now, so I've actually gained about 5 pounds over the past 6 weeks. And the thing with bulking is that I'm always afraid to bulk because I'm afraid to get fat. And how do I put it? I've done like bulking programs in the past where either I did the whole program and I didn't eat enough, so it was like a waste of time because I didn't really gain any weight or muscle, or I'll eat enough, but I'm like afraid I'm getting fat and then stop before the program is finished. So this time I'm just going through it. It's a 12-week program, and I've done 5 weeks so far. And if I get fat, I get fat. But that's kind of the thing. I would love to bet tennis. Don't get me wrong. I would love to bet tennis. Yeah, I would love to bet tennis. It's like I said. Building a model takes work. It's not just the building of it, but also the maintenance and everything. And right now I do college football, college basketball, and baseball. So fitting in another model in there would just be time consuming. Especially now, I'm so busy with work, guys. Like I said, I do a lot of. If you watch my other videos, I'm so busy working. Like I was up till like 4 a.m. the other night doing work. That's what you get when you're a salaried employee. No, it's not like my superiors told me to stay up till 4 a.m. I just wanted to get something done, and I was like, "There's no way I'm going to be able to sleep until I get this done, because it'll be on my mind otherwise." Darts. That's something interesting. Darts. I mean, they track stats for darts, right? I mean, as long as there's stats to track, I mean, you can build a darts model. Like I said, darts is one of those sports where you don't really need, like, it's kind of like golf, where the other people playing don't really matter. Like, unlike, football, where the strength of your opponent matters in terms of stats, but that's not going to be the case for darts or golf. Any individual sport where the opposition doesn't really affect you is bowling would be another one. Has anyone ever bet bowling? That's the thing. It's like all these sports that the more obscure the sport, the softer the markets are going to be. So you probably have a better chance to find an edge if you're willing to put in the legwork to build a model for it. But that's kind of I've had people ask me about esports before, and that's the thing. Like, as long as there's self-contained stats, then you could build a model for it. But by self-contained, I mean like within a league. Because if every team in esports is freelance and they just play whoever, there still has to be some sort of like way you can measure competition and strength of schedule and everything like that. Check some scores. So it looks like West Virginia is going to lose, so that's going to be a loss for me on the money line side. LSU, do I have them? Yeah, I do. They're up by enough. UL Monroe has a chance to cover here. Hawaii's up. What are they? They were +4. They're up. Miami's not doing what they need to do. Louisiana Tech's up. I don't think I can. Yeah, I don't see myself pulling off a winning day today. Oklahoma -7 I could talk about because I'm a TCU guy and that's who they played. Like I said, TCU's offense is so bad. It's just embarrassing. Like their defense, TCU's defense is good enough to stay in any game, but that's the thing. It's like if your offense is doing absolutely nothing, it puts so much pressure on the defense. And I know TCU lost their All-American cornerback today as well for the rest of the season in that game, and one of Oklahoma's long touchdown passes came on his backup. But the defense is good enough to stay in every game, but the offense, like when it does absolutely nothing, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense to go out there and basically have to pitch a shutout, which they're not going to do against a team like Oklahoma. So my model had TCU, but like I said, the offense play has just been terrible this year. Oklahoma State -2.5. Well, I was on the wrong end of that one. I had 3.5 and it lost. I thought they were going to win, but 2.5, 3.5, it ended up making the difference. Auburn -3.5. I had that one too. Ole Miss, they've shown flashes, but they're not quite there. UL Monroe, yeah, I have UL Monroe as well, and they're about to score apparently. They're in the red zone. You have Virginia 14. I have Miami. Like I said, my model just spit all these out. I just hit one button, and that's what I got, right? Like I said, in a normal year, I'd be able to give you my actual takes on these matchups. But in a year like this, it just seems like a throwaway year. It seems like it's harder to analyze, right? It seems like it's harder to analyze these matchups on paper because it's like who cares and who doesn't. There's no consistency. Yeah, Virginia looks pretty bad this year, but they're tied with Miami. Did UL Monroe end up scoring there? No, they called timeout, but they're in the red zone. This is a tough year, and same with baseball. It's like who cares, who doesn't, and all these double headers and everything, and players having to sit. It just made it very hard to be consistent. Do I think Michigan covers the -3? I don't know. It's been a back and forth game so far. It's 21-17. That's a tough one. If I had to bet, if someone held a gun to my head, I bet on them to cover the -3. But their defense that last possession that Minnesota had was terrible. Just terrible, and they let them convert a 3rd and 15 on that drive. So, like I said, first game for these Big Ten teams, and I was saying this last month. You can't take a lot away from these first games. Teams are going to look rusty. Teams are going to, still be working kinks out. Yeah, my model is on Syracuse, and they were close there for a while. They were only down by 6 in the third quarter. That was kind of surprising, but I'm still surprised at Michigan State losing outright to Rutgers. Like I said, Michigan State fans were acting like they had poached Nick Saban away from Colorado when they hired Mel Tucker. They were acting like that was an A+++ hire that was going to totally bring that program to the next level, and then he loses to Rutgers in game 1. I didn't see it. He wasn't that great at Colorado. He wasn't. Yeah, my model had Syracuse. That's one of those games where it just depends on how much a team like Clemson cares. And, they didn't care enough, apparently, because they didn't really come close to covering that 46.5. But I'm going to take this hat off. That's a hat I wear when I go play golf. But my hair is all messed up, but oh well. Texas, it pushed. Yeah. We play Baylor next week. That's going to be an interesting game. I wouldn't be surprised if the total in our game versus Baylor is in the 30s next week, because both Baylor and TCU have terrible offenses and above average defenses. So look for a total in the 30s next week for that game. Texas still has a decent chance to go to the Big 12 championship game. Surprising, I know, but us losing today kind of increased their odds for that. What's up with these? I know it's not college football related, but Hunter Biden sex tapes. Yeah, I had Penn State minus 5.5, and apparently they were up by 8, and then Indiana scored in the last minute and then won in overtime. I'm guessing they went for 2 in overtime. Make their coach look like a genius. Is that what happened? I'm going to see if that's what ended up happening. Sucks for Indiana, though. No fans to rush the field after the game. Yep, they went for 2. So Penn State missed a 57-yard field goal at the end of regulation. And they allowed Indiana to march all the way downfield with a minute 38 left to tie the game at 8. So, yeah, that was a tough loss. Yeah, I mean, I can do a thing with TCU and Baylor right now, but that's before today's games. So, let me try that. Let's see what this has it at. This has it at 46. So, but both the TCU offense and Baylor offense was so bad today that I could see it in the lower 40s. That's kind of my odds maker right there, by the way. I've never showed that off before, but you guys, for watching this live stream, get a glimpse of it. I kind of like to keep stuff like that under wraps because it's kind of like my own, kind of highlight some of the methods to my madness. But I use that right there to determine like odds, not so much for a model, because there's a lot more that goes in the model than that. But that's more of like an odds maker type thing. Like if I were a bookie, that's what I would do. Man, on a normal college football Saturday in a normal year, this would be so much more fun. But yeah, I'm moving out of this Airbnb next Sunday, and then moving into another one the Friday after. I'm actually going to Houston for a little bit. I'm going to Houston I'll be there for the election. Is that program for sale? No, unfortunately, no. Do I still have that screen open? Yeah. All right, you guys got a good enough look at that. But yeah, that kind of gives away some of the methods to my madness right there. But I'm going to Houston. I'll be there for the election. Kind of like a getaway because I do a lot of politics for work, because that's one of the main things I do is political media. I'm ready for it to all be over. That's why I've been so busy. Part of why I've been so busy. Missouri ended up winning. I know they played Kentucky. No, that program's not for sale. The next Airbnb I'm moving into, I think it'll be definitely different than this one. It's a little bit more expensive, but this Airbnb is fine, and I'm not paying a lot for it. But the main issue I have with it is the kitchen. It's so small, and I just think it's just not enough space. And also, there was like a severe thunderstorm that rolled in the other night at like 5, 6 in the morning, and it was so loud. Like, it was raining and windy, and it was just so loud. I just don't know if I've never crap. I say I'm in parts unknown right now. I'm not in San Diego. Like San Diego proper. Cincinnati SMU. Here's the deal with SMU. They seems like they like winning games by the skin of their teeth, and I don't think they're that good. SMU is not a top 25 caliber team. I'm going to put it that way. They are not a top 25 caliber team. They're just there because they played a pretty bad schedule so far and haven't lost. I think that Cincinnati is not that great either. But yeah, SMU being ranked 16 is stupid. They're not good. The question is that Cincinnati's offense is not great. They don't really have a great offense. So Cincinnati's offense reminds me a lot of kind of like how our offense at TCU looked when we were in the Mountain West before Andy Dalton, or at least like before his junior and senior years. Like, it was pretty shaky. SMU has a pretty good offense, but their defense isn't good. So it's like, what's going to win out in that game? I think SMU is going to win just because they have a knack for winning these kinds of games. It's going to be close though. They don't blow anybody out. That Tulane game last week, they should have lost that game to Tulane last week, and they didn't. They got pretty lucky against Memphis. They only beat Texas State by 7. We were supposed to play SMU this year in week 1, but it got canceled. We still might play them in December. I don't know. I think we would beat SMU, TCU. I think if we played them, we would win. I don't think SMU is a good team. I don't. But I don't think Cincinnati is great either. Yes, I have odds and models for the election, kind of. I made a video. I'm going to do another live stream about it this Tuesday. But I don't really have like odds and models, but I just have a lot of data is what I have. I have tons of political data that I use for work. And I can tell you this right now. These polls that have Biden up double digits are trash. That is not the case. And the campaigns know that. Trust me on this one. It's a major part of what I do for a living. I would say as of right now, this isn't going to turn into a politics live stream. I'll give you that on Tuesday, but just to say it, I think as of right now, I think Trump is probably going to win, and he's probably going to get about 290 electoral votes, and he's going to win. What did I think of the Big Ten openers? Great question. So Cincinnati's a pick right now? Yeah, it's truly a pick'em game. Big Ten openers, like I said, I think it's stupid they have no fans in the stands, but at the same time, I think these games that have like a limited number of fans are stupid as well. But come on, Big Ten, come on. The Big Ten openers, I was actually kind of surprised Iowa lost to Purdue. I think Ohio State. I truly think Ohio State's the best team in the country, and they showed that in the second half of their game. Michigan and Minnesota. I don't think Minnesota's that great, but Michigan kind of has a habit of shooting themselves in the foot. No, it's okay that you brought it up. I'll have a video dedicated to that on Tuesday. Do I like the over in the SMU game? No, I actually like the under. What other Big Ten games were there today? Wisconsin, they are what they are. Penn State. I'm not surprised Penn State lost. I'm not. My model had them, but, I'm not surprised. Maryland, Northwestern, I still don't get why Maryland hired Loxley as a coach. He was the coach at New Mexico when I played for TCU, and they were so badly coached. Like, it was awful. And the thing is, New Mexico didn't have the worst talent. They actually had some talent when he was their coach, and yet they were just so badly coached. And yet Maryland, he won 2 games in 3 years at New Mexico, or I think he beat one FBS team his entire 3 years in New Mexico, and yet Maryland hires him. That didn't make any sense, and now they're losing 27-3 before halftime. Dumbest hire in a while. I know he can recruit, I get that, but he is such a bad X's and O's guy. It's not even funny. Yeah, Michigan State. I was surprised. Like I said about Michigan State, like I said, their fans thought they had hired Nick Saban with Mel Tucker. They thought he was like a home run hire. I was a walk-on wide receiver. Is Nebraska that bad? No, I don't think they're that bad. I don't think they're good, but Ohio State's the best team in the country in my opinion. I don't think it's close. I think they're better than Clemson. I think they're better than Alabama. Yeah, but so Michigan's up by 9 now, or 11. Yep, 11. I'm not surprised. I think Michigan's going to cover that -3, like I said earlier. But looking at the Big Ten, it's Ohio State and everybody else. There's really no, especially with Penn State losing today. They're going to run through that conference easily. There's no one's going to stand in their way. They're going to get in the playoff, guys. Say what you want about the Pac-12 and only playing 6 games, but I think Ohio State's. I think 8 games is enough for them. Now the Pac-12 playing 6 games, I think that's stupid. I think they should not be in the playoff for that reason alone. But Ohio State's gonna get in, guys. Just deal with it. Don't complain. They're the best team, and I thought they were the best team last year too. Okay, yes, they lost to Clemson in the playoff, but it's just one of those games. I think if Ohio State and LSU last year played 100 times, I think Ohio State wins about 60 of them. World Series, I mean, yeah, the ratings for the World Series and NBA Finals and everything are just bad. Like, NFL ratings are down too, but not as much as the other sports. All ratings are down, and it's, I'm not surprised. I'm not, and I work in TV. It's what I do, and we were all thinking, like everyone's thinking that sports would be up because everyone's locked at home with nothing to do because of COVID. They should have realized that it's self-inflicted. These poor TV ratings for all these sports is self-inflicted. They took a scenario that was in their favor and screwed it all up. Yeah, I had no luck betting on baseball either. If you followed my videos on baseball and my daily model picks, that was just I wouldn't say it was a train wreck, but there was no consistency. And I didn't do well in daily fantasy either. That's what I really built my model around in baseball, is daily fantasy, and that was oh man. Like, I was in one of those contests, and I was actually at first place at one point with like the $20,000 top prize. And I posted it to my Twitter and everything. And then, like, Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a grand slam, and everything went downhill after that. Not just that night, but, like, daily fantasy in general. And that's the thing. I don't think my model's approach and methods were bad. I just think it was an impossible year to bet on baseball. And I feel like it's like that everywhere. Esports growing in popularity. I mean, I've never watched an esport before. I'm not really a big video game guy, but I just know when I lived in Seattle, I remember I would walk to work every day, and I would walk by Key Arena on the way to work, and they were having like some esports thing there, and it was just people everywhere for it. So I guess it's a big deal, but I guess it's more for the younger generation. I'm 32 years old, but I'm not a big video game guy, but I guess I'm not. I guess I'm too old to understand the appeal of esports. I would never bet a Madden football simulation. I would never do that. Yeah, exactly. I'm a Stars fan. I'm a Dallas Stars fan. My first job after graduating college, I worked at ESPN Radio in Dallas. And that was one of the things I did, is I covered the Stars. So I went to the games and got to sit in the press box and go in the locker room afterwards. I'm a big Stars fan, and I watched all their playoff games last year, but I didn't watch any of them this year because without the fans, it just seemed like it didn't seem like it meant anything. And they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and I didn't even care. No, the Super Contest. I did a video about the Super Contest a couple weeks ago. Um, I think the Super Contest is basically a contest of coin flippers. First of all, $1,500, that's asking too much. And second of all, like I said, the data doesn't lie. The Super Contest is basically who can flip a coin the best. I believe it's impossible to pick spreads. I believe, in my opinion, it's impossible to pick against the spread in NFL and come out ahead in the long run. With that being in mind, so whoever wins the Super Contest is just going to be whoever got the luckiest. That's all it is. Now, I'm not saying there's strategies that might work in the Super Contest. You're picking against stale lines, and even against stale lines, they can't get better than 52% in the Super Contest. It's just that's the thing. I just feel like there's no way to beat an NFL spread, even when it's stale. Especially in a season like this with COVID. Man, UL Monroe didn't end up scoring in that. Man, they were on the freaking whatever yard line. They were right there, and they didn't score. What made me want to get into actual betting in sports? Well, originally I was more into the data, creating rankings and stuff. Ken Pomeroy was a big influence on me when I was in high school. I created my own college basketball rating system. I was heavily influenced by him, and my goal is to kind of create the college football version of Ken Pom, which I did. And then I realized, hey, maybe I can use this to bet with. And I lived in Las Vegas, so I started to get in the betting side. But it took me a while to get to a point where I was comfortable with it. I didn't have, the current college football model I use, I developed that in 2017 when I was living in Kentucky, and it won me money 3 straight years, but not this year. And then same with college basketball. I created the college basketball model I used the same year, and it's won me money every year as well. But what made me want to get into it? I'm just always been a numbers, data nerd, math nerd. And originally I was just interested in the numbers, but then I was I realized I could bet on it too. And the first time I went to Las Vegas was in 2011, after I was done playing football, so I was allowed to bet on games, and I went there for the Mountain West Conference tournament in basketball, and I had a really good week betting college basketball, no model or anything. I just bet on the eyeball test and had a good week, and I probably got a super inflated sense of self-worth about that. And the rest is history. I tried to move to Las Vegas back in May, but HR for the company I work for said no. I was like, why not? I'm a remote worker. And they're like, no, you have to stay in San Diego. I'm like, why? Because we have a branch in Las Vegas as well. I'm like, we have a branch there. Why did I stay in San Diego? And they just, because we said so. Makes no sense. If I'm remote and can work from anywhere, why would I want to stay in San Diego where it's expensive as hell and I have to pay a big income tax? What did I do to learn Excel? Honestly, I taught myself, just trial and error. I didn't take a class or watch any tutorials or anything. Google is a big friend when it comes to stuff like that. You can always Google what you're trying to do and figure it out, but honestly, just trial and error. I had programming background, I've done Visual Basic and stuff, so I knew the basics of programming and problem solving, but it was really just trial and error. I taught myself. Same with R. I taught myself how to use R as well. I did not go to school for computer science. I went for journalism. Exactly, summary guy. My first trip to Las Vegas, I was a broke college student at the time, only betting $5-10 on the games, and I still won close to $600. And I was like, man, this is easy, All I did was bet college basketball, and I was like, man, this is easy. And, you get overconfident. It probably would have been better off if I had lost money on that trip. I've always thought, if I've always wanted to be a bookie myself, but, I don't have the capital to do it. You got to have a lot of capital for that. You got to be able to weather out the downturns. I mean, you'll make money in the long run, but, You're not going to win every week. It's it's kind of like counting cards in blackjack. I mean, if you're good at it, I mean, it's hard to do these days, but you're going to win money in the long run. But the question is, can you weather the downturns? Or same with the video poker machines that pay out over 100%. So he had a 6 games futures bet on the Marlins in 2003. I remember when I was in Las Vegas in 2017 for my annual trip, and the first day I was there. I didn't plan this, by the way, because I had scheduled the trip before they announced it, but I was there the night of that stupid Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight. I picked the wrong. Like I said, I booked that trip in April, and they announced the fight in June, I think. But yeah, the first night I was there was that stupid fight, and talk about the worst elements of society being in the same place at once. But anyway, I remember I was in the Westgate the next day, and people are just coming in, cashing their Floyd Mayweather tickets, and people are getting just thousands of dollars back from the Westgate. 80,000. I'm guessing a Marlins to win 6 games. Off the top of my head, I'm guessing it was probably plus 20, probably 20 to 1 odds, I'm guessing. That's what I would guess. So he probably bet he probably bet $4,000 on that. Yeah. I've never, like I said, the biggest bet I've made before is $500, and I did a video about it. I just never would be comfortable betting that, more, because I'm a big believer in bankroll management and unit sizing. And for me, a $1,000 bet would assume a bankroll of $100,000, which I don't have. I mean, I bet on 5Dimes using Bitcoin back when my 5Dimes account was still open, and I was able to withdraw it with Bitcoin last month. I think that's the way to go, honestly, but I don't trust overseas sports books. After what 5Dimes did, I don't trust them anymore, so I had to find a local. I'm never going to do that again, so hopefully it could be legalized quickly here in the States so we don't have to go overseas and risk putting our money in who knows. Yeah, that 5Dimes, I ended up getting my money from 5Dimes, but it was a process, I'll tell you that. South Carolina. Oh, Michigan's kind of opening it up. So whoever had Michigan -3 are looking good. Man, Maryland. Maryland. So the Cincinnati SMU game started. Like I said, I think Cincinnati might be a top 25 team, between 22 and 25-ish. SMU is not a top 25 team. They're not. I don't even know if they're a top 50 team. And yet they're ranked 16. They did not finish the season strong last year, SMU. They did not. They lost to Navy, and then they got blown out in their bowl game against a team that was didn't even have their coach. And then they're just not that good. Yeah, I've never bet soccer. I don't even watch. The last soccer game I watched was when the U.S. men were in the World Cup in 2014. That's the last time I watched it. Yeah. I don't watch soccer, so I wouldn't know how to create a model for it. Yeah, I've never bet Super Bowl future. I did a video last year about betting the Super Bowl. I don't know if any one of you watched it, but I just said that I just kind of reiterated that NFL is pretty much impossible to beat. The Super Bowl line is based on the public and not sharp money, and honestly, bet to have fun. So yeah, seems like betting Gronk and Edelman on the MVP in the Super Bowl would be betting to have fun, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't blame Indiana for doing it. I mean, it's like I said, why not? It's a throwaway year. They look like a genius. I know, being a TCU guy, that's what Gary Patterson does in that situation. He goes for 2, and it's the last 2 times he's done it, it's backfired on us, so. But then he had done it 2 times before, and it paid off, so he's 50%. It's a 50-50 thing, the 2-point conversion to win a game. So if you believe that 50% chance of converting the 2-point conversion is greater than the percentage chance you have of winning the game, if it continues, then yeah, go ahead and do it. We uh we went for two against Oklahoma in 2015. We scored a touchdown with like 30 seconds left to pull within 1 point at Oklahoma, and if we won, we would have won the Big 12 and gone to the playoff. And so we went for two, and it got batted down, and we did not go to the playoff and did not win the Big 12. Five Dimes, well, they made all they closed all the accounts of people who live in the United States, and because they want to enter the United States market legally, so they had to do some things to get right with the Department of Justice. So they closed all the accounts of the American bettors like me, and it took forever to get my money out, and they kept denying my requests and making me do all these things, and it just felt like they were trying to run away with my money. And online sports books, especially the ones overseas, they're not regulated, meaning there's really no like law jurisdiction over them to hold them accountable if they don't pay out. So, and Five Dimes is one of the best ones. So, if it's Five Dimes makes you feel worried about that, then these more sketchy ones are going to even be even worse. And I know there's books like Heritage and Pinnacle that are trustworthy, but you're not allowed to deposit them as an American bettor. So, yeah, as far as the ones that Americans are allowed to play at, they're all sketchy. Like, I don't trust Bovada at all, and they suck anyway. I don't trust MyBookie or BetOnline.ag. I don't trust any of those. Yeah, that's why it just needs to be legalized here in the United States. People are going to do it. That's what I say about laws like that. People are going to do it anyway. You might as well like regulate it. Just allow people to do it and regulate it, Boy, sorry. I'm reading this story. Like I said, it's not going to be about politics. But is there anything to these Hunter Biden sex tapes? Is there anything to it? Like I said, I do this stuff for a living. I do political media for a living, so it interests me for that reason, Like, I'm so busy work. I stayed up till 5 in the morning the other night doing work. This is the busiest season for me. Yeah, I've never used Bookmaker, but that's the thing, These online overseas books are not regulated by any jurisdiction. Do I have an early Super Bowl prediction? Well, I don't watch NFL enough to feel qualified, but just basically, it's not like I don't pay attention. I don't watch NFL, but like I still I know who's winning and who's losing. I know what the scores. I know what the standings are. I think that the NFL, the way I see it playing out, honestly, I don't see any reason why the Chiefs would not be able to repeat. Yeah, if I was able to start my own operation with that stake to start, yeah, I would do it easily. Absolutely, yeah. I would be my own odds maker too. That's the thing with all these books is that there's only a few odds makers out there. They all use the same ones. I think that would be, for me, it's part of the challenge for me isn't so much winning money as much as it is trying to just say I can beat it. It's not, that's the main fun I get out of sports. But like I said, I've always been a data nerd, math nerd, and that's what's fun for me with betting is just the statistics and coming up with approaches and ways to crunch the numbers. Yeah, that was what I used at Five Dimes. I did the reduced juice. That was my option. I didn't do the deposit bonuses. Screw that. Reduced juice all the way. I've never won enough in betting in Las Vegas to pay taxes. But I think that sounds about right because I'm pretty sure it would be taxed like a bonus would be taxed. And bonus taxes are 24%. So, yeah, sounds about right. I had a potential sponsor email me. So I haven't. If you've watched my videos, you know haven't done any sponsorships, even though I've had a ton of people approach me to like sponsor their product or whatever. Like I have a lot of overseas sports books approach me to sponsor them, and I say no because, like I said, if I wouldn't use it personally, I'm not going to sponsor it because I take the reputation of this channel very seriously, and I don't want to like advertise shady things, you know, because that would put my credibility on the line. But there is a sponsor who approached me this week who I feel like would be very credible, who we're working out a deal right now. So you might see me for the first time do a sponsorship within the next couple of weeks, but we'll see. Like I said, I haven't signed the dotted line yet, but it's someone I would like to advertise for. Let's put it that way. Not gonna say who, but I feel like they're credible enough. Something I would use. So I don't believe that you're 31-6. Unless you're betting favorites on the money line, I don't believe you. Sorry, I just don't. I mean, what's my opinion on using algorithms? I mean, that's what a model is. But even with a model, I don't see how you go. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible to go 31-6 in the NFL. And honestly, I've had stretches before where I've gone 31-6 betting against spreads, but it's like that's variance. You know, you're gonna have 31-6 stretches just like you're gonna have 6-31 stretches. But yeah, the odds of going 31-6 are pretty low, though. But yeah, even with the model, that's asking a lot. Unless you're playing big money lines. Like big favorites on the money line. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it would have to be a low-key operation. Do I think Zach Wilson is a legit NFL QB? I do, but I think part of the reason BYU is impressing right now is because they haven't played anybody. You're going to get banned for arbitrage betting, just to let you know. You will get caught at some point. And I don't bet teasers. I mean, you can go 31-6 betting teasers, but ultimately the wall is going to come crashing down on that as well. Teasers always look good on paper, and they always find a way to bite you in the ass. Like, you know, I only bet teasers once a year, and that's usually the first week of college football, and I just do it just to mess around and have fun, and they never win. Even though they look good on paper, they never win. Yeah, that'll be a test for them, but God, that's a bad schedule for BYU. I know they're an independent and they had to get what they could, but geez, it's terrible. Yeah, teasers and parlays are fool's gold. BYU's -30 against who? Probably a bad team. Yeah, Texas State. Yeah, sounds about right. Although they played UT San Antonio, who's not that good, and they only won by 7. Yeah, BYU, SMU, like, they picked a bad year to have a good year because without being able to play like Power 5 teams, we don't really know how good those teams are. And like I said, I've watched SMU play because they're TCU's rival, and I'm not saying this because I hate them because they're a rival. I'm saying this because I truly believe they're not anywhere close to a top 25 team, and yet they're ranked 16. And even if they beat Cincinnati, it doesn't mean anything, you know? I don't think Cincinnati's that great either. But yeah, like I said, I thought the under would be a better play on the Cincinnati-SMU game. I mean, BYU should beat Texas State bad, but 30 is asking a lot, especially after that UT San Antonio game. West Virginia lost, so I can update that. I can put a loss right here. Yeah, I think UL Monroe's looking bad too. Yeah, if like just eyeballing it, I would take Texas State as well. What did my model have it as? My model had BYU winning on the blender by 39 and winning on the ATM by 29. So put that together, that's about 35. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I know BYU had to take what they could get schedule-wise, but that's just... If they go undefeated, they're gonna they don't belong anywhere close to the playoff. Like, put them in a group of 6 bowl, that's fine. But geez, that's a terrible schedule. Yeah, Texas Tech is not good. I don't think West Virginia is good either. That's the thing with TCU's schedule. It's so front-loaded. I mean, we get the Texas Tech, West Virginia, Kansas, and all in a row. We're probably going to beat all the Texas teams on our schedule and then lose to all the non-Texas teams. Oh, man. All right. Glad I'm doing this live stream, though. I thought, I got home from the golf course and it's like, you know what, why not? Why not? I can't have my, I'm in this Airbnb for one more week and then I'll be in another one and maybe that'll be better for doing stuff like this. I don't know if West Virginia and Texas Tech would have what I call good offenses. Yeah, Texas Tech and West Virginia's programs. I don't think West Virginia made a bad coaching hire, but I just think them being in the Big 12 just hurts them. It's not their good fit. And then Texas Tech, I think they made a bad head coaching hire when they got rid of Cliff. Not an upgrade, I can tell you that. Yeah, Maryland. Like I said, Maryland made the worst coaching hire of in college football, probably the last. I think they made a worse coaching hire than definitely worse than Willie Taggart at Florida State, because at least Willie Taggart had a successful head coaching record before he got there. The guy Maryland hired was terrible at New Mexico. Terrible. Like, I just remember when I was at TCU and we'd watch film in New Mexico and we would just laugh at them just based on how terrible they were at the fundamentals. Yeah, West Virginia's not suited to play in the Big 12. They're not. Yeah, Texas Tech firing Mike Leach was a terrible decision. I agree. Terrible. Set that program back. Cliff was like, here's the deal with Cliff Kingsbury. Good offensive coach, but not a head coach. I mean, he's a head coach now in the NFL, but you don't have to do as much as an NFL head coach. You don't have to recruit or deal with boosters or keep players in line. I don't think people understand just how much of a job it is to keep players behaving at the college level. Like, I know at TCU we would have our grad assistants, roam campus and just make sure we were on our best behavior. They would come to our dorms and make sure we were going to class, and they would send out moles to the bars to make sure we weren't out on a school night. Yeah, they fired Mike Leach because of the locking player in a closet thing, but that was so stupid. It was so overblown. So overblown. And that all happened that was going on when I was playing at TCU. I just remember when that story was going on, we were like Coach Patterson never did anything like that at TCU. I can tell you that. I mean, but it's not like we were treated like kids. We were yelled at and spit at and screamed at. Had our face mask grabbed, I just feel like that's part of. Yeah, I feel like coaches aren't allowed to coach these days. They're so afraid of lawsuits. That's another thing is I feel like college football and football in general is becoming two-hand touch because it seems like all these rule changes only seek to benefit the offense. And it makes it that much harder for defensive coordinators and coaches. I think my biggest gripe right now with college football is the fact that linemen downfield are not enforced. It makes the run-pass option too powerful. It needs to be like the NFL where you're not allowed to go more than a yard downfield, because that's what you're reading. As a defensive player, you're reading the line, and if they go in for if they run block, then you're going to assume it's a run, and yet they pass out of her run blocking schemes on the line. That's just going to confuse the defense. And I get it. You need to adapt, but Baylor was really bad for this when Art Biles was their coach, and Oklahoma does it a lot too. They have linemen like 5-6 yards down the field on passing plays. Like, how are you supposed to defend that? You can't. It also didn't help that the player in the closet was Craig James's son. Oh man, Coach Patterson, when he got mad, he would get mad. But we knew he deserved it. That's the thing. I haven't been in the TCU. I haven't played football at TCU for 10 years now. I mean, but I wonder if that's an issue as well. Like, TCU's recruited better, but are they coachable players? Because a player can have all the stars in the world and recruiting accolades, but are they coachable? Because when we were getting nothing but 2-star recruits at TCU, I mean, they had to be coachable. But if you're pulling in 4-star players who could have gone anywhere, you know, like, are they people who will listen to you? Will they respect you? I completely agree that defenses are at way too much of a disadvantage. Like I said, football's becoming two-hand touch pretty much. Like, part of being a good defense is installing fear into the other team. And that's my biggest issue with targeting penalties. I understand why they exist, but I feel like they're too broad. Like, if you're a good defense, the other team's wide receiver should fear running out over the middle to catch balls. They should fear getting lit up. I just remember when I was at TCU, we had so many games where, like, a guy would have got kicked out for targeting. Because we were so aggressive. Like, I played scout team against that defense. They didn't tee off on me in practice. You know, that's what I don't like about the movie Rudy, is that, like, when he was playing scout team, they were, like, teeing off on him, like, you know, treating like a tackling dummy. It wasn't like that playing scout team. At least it wasn't at TCU. But, you know, it's in scrimmages and stuff, and in live ball situations in the spring and fall camp, where you would be afraid. Like, I still have a video of it because I recorded it when I was a player, because I got lit up one day at practice so bad, and I still have a video of it. But, like, that was the thing. You would be afraid to go back out and run the same route, you know, and you'd be afraid, and so you'd get gator arms, and, you know, it'd be hard to focus on catching the ball. But these days, defenders aren't allowed to hit anybody, so it's like, why would any receiver fear going over the middle, right? Maybe I should upload that video of me getting lit up at practice to YouTube. Oh, man, it was bad. It was a corner route, and I was wide open, but the quarterback took just a little bit too long to throw it. So by the time I caught it, like, the defender just pop. But the thing is, I thought I was open, right? I didn't think there was any defender around me because I thought I was in the perfect position, but nope, the quarterback took too long, threw it, and right when the ball hits my hands, I just got popped, and I couldn't breathe for like a minute. The wind got knocked out of me. It was bad. Yeah, I might post it one day. And then, like, of course, during film session the next day, like, we had to watch it like 20 times over and over on a loop in the film room because everyone thought it was the funniest thing ever. It was funny. That's why I recorded it, you know, but I never lived that one down. And the guy who lit me up wasn't that big either. It's just, like I said, when you think you're wide open, you don't brace yourself for impact. Are there any games I can put in as a win right now? How's Louisiana Tech doing? LSU, I think they're going to cover that one. What do you guys think? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and redline LSU, or greenline it. So I pretty much need to run the table to end the day profitable. So we need UL Monroe to score. I need Hawaii to hold on. Miami needs to kick it into gear. Louisiana Tech's looking good. Cincinnati scored, by the way. I don't have a bet on that game, but like I said, SMU's not a top 25 team, guys. Why did they cancel the New Mexico game, by the way? Probably COVID. Ooh, COVID. I can't wait for all this COVID stuff to be over. So, basically, I need to run the table. So, in order to run the table, like, can it... I'm just going to fill these in just hypothetically. So, say I win everything but UL Monroe. Will that be a profitable day? Whoops. Yes, it will be. So, I can afford a UL Monroe loss. But I'd like for them to win. I can afford a UL Monroe loss. And it looks like South Alabama's moving the ball on them, which isn't good. Hawaii scored again. That's good. Man. Man, I can't wait for this election to be over. And I say that because, like I said, it's a major part of my job. Major part. Yeah, I'm going to do a political live stream on Tuesday again because it was so well received. By the way, Twitter marked my Twitter account as offensive for some reason. So stupid, right? Why? I mean, what did I do that was offensive? But when they mark your account as offensive, like, some of your posts don't show up. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, they gave me a reply deboosting flag. So anytime I make a reply, it gets hidden. Because my account was marked as Twitter determined your account might engage in harmful behavior and therefore will hide your replies behind a barrier. Twitter classified your account as offensive. The outcome of this may depend on... Yeah, so it's like... They marked my Twitter account as offensive for some reason. That's so stupid. Like, if any of you follow me on Twitter, have you ever seen me post anything offensive before? Get out of here. Yeah, Twitter's a joke. They're modern day Stalinists. They censor you. They don't let you speak your mind. All right, man. I mean, 11-6 is a lot better than I'm doing. Good, yeah. Looks like we both won on Tulane. Yeah, that's probably why I ended up getting banned on Twitter, because I do retweet some articles about how I think we're going a little bit overboard on COVID and everything. Yep. Yeah, Twitter's a joke. Wonder how long I'm going to do this stream for. just want to, I think I'm going to call it a day. You know, I did the stream for an hour and a half, not bad. But yeah, I just want to lay down. I'm kind of tired. Like I said, I played golf today. Got up early to work out, so I think I'm ready to lay down. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for making this live stream worth doing. Like I said, I have a video coming Tuesday on politics, and I will do a video. I'll probably upload my next tomorrow. Do I like horse racing? I lived in Louisville, actually, for a while, and I just never really got into it. I want to like horse racing, but, you know, it's something I've never really been able to get traction with. Anyway, yeah, my camera's about to turn off. All right, thanks, guys, for tuning in. I'll see you guys on Tuesday if you want to watch my politics betting live stream. Thanks, guys.